Still says preview. Now we're live. There we are. How are you guys doing? Today we're doing another feedback stream. As you guys know, already see that there's a few people here. Barono, Malogify, King Thin. How are you guys doing? Welcome. So yeah, we're doing another feedback stream. Already one track has been posted, I saw, so we can dive immediately into it. For those that are new here, if there are already people that are new here, you can come into my Discord. In a little bit, the bot will start to work. It will show a message once it goes live, and then you type !feedback. There it is. There's the bot. You'll be placed into my Discord server, and then you just scroll down to feedback on stream, and you place it right there. Hello, Kev. How are you doing? How are the temperatures in Italy? Today is 30 degrees and extremely warm. It's a little bit better now. It's cooling off again. I think it's getting a little bit cloudy. But earlier today it was really, really warm. Anyway, so we already have one track. Before we get into that, I want to remind you guys all that I'm running a sale on my Gumroad. You'll be able to get 30% off of all of my products. You can see them loading here. There's more stuff here. I should put these higher up. These are the new products. The psychedelic drum pack. And then we have the tones pack. I've shown both of these off in their own videos. And there's videos going to come on them as well, explaining a little bit more. Let me just quickly set the ordering here, because otherwise I'll forget. Takes 2 seconds, and then we'll get into it. I have so many products that it actually takes quite a while. Okay, so this goes under the tone pack. I could have drum pack goes there. Very nice. Now if I refresh, oh, it takes a while to update, but it should get updated at some point. Anyway, let's get into feedback. We have Ravan. This is 170 BPM, 10th of May. Not completely finished in terms of resampling bass. Final draft, maybe. Let's see. First track of the stream. Hello, Klaus. I like the atmosphere that we have here. Okay, this is a little bit strange. Personally, I think this is where the kick and bass really should be starting. There's this strange roll going on every bar. I don't know if you're doing a bass roll every bar. Personally, I wouldn't go for that. And also would change the bass out. Yeah, this is much more like it. Little bit of a strange place to have that one kick missing there. Hello, Griff. What's happening with the sub bass here? Yeah, there's a lot of cleaning that still needs to happen. I like the idea, but for example here there's this one big sub bass note, but I don't know why it's there. very dark suddenly. What is that? That's C sharp. Okay. I do like that. I do like the key change. I think you can hear that there's some sequences and synth sounds that are a little bit too loud. Like this stuff here. You generally want your kick and bass to be the main thing that people listen to. Here again, that atmosphere is just overpowering. I like this. Hello, Ravan. Oh yeah, this is your track. What is the kick doing here? You have this one thing that is in the beat. I would leave my kick in the beat then as well, personally. It just feels like it's doing a little bit random things now here. Here as well. That part was a lot louder. I think you saw it, right? Where it went down, it was a lot louder than the kick and bass here is in the drop. You can definitely hear that the bass was synthesized in like this pitch, because here it has a lot more weight to it than any other key that we've heard. Here it sounds a little bit floppy, I would say. This is really cool, this sound here. I think this part is a little bit too high energy for what the kind of feel that you had before, because it felt like it was really slowing down here, and now you have a lot of high frequencies again, right? So high energy. In terms of arrangement and sound design, I think this is really cool. Mixing wise, there's a lot of strange decisions, and I think you need to completely redo the mix here. Set all of the levels to 0 and then balance each individual element one at a time, and just keeping in mind what the functionality of each sound needs to be. Right, because just 90% of mixing is going to be volume, basic EQ, stereo work, and maybe compression. Not even compression, just those first three maybe. And if you get that right, then this kind of track can really start to sound professional. Because in terms of, like, as I said, production and arrangement, it's all there. We have King Thin here. I think he said that he couldn't make it. He is on the bus. He needs to collect his girlfriend. I do like the stereo field here. The main thing that I would say is the first two that there were problems with in the other track. D sine gain E C153. That rhymes. What's up, Mindbee? This is by King Thin. Nice atmosphere, but a little bit harsh here in this frequency region there where we had before. I like the kick and bass. I like having a kick build there, but then you would have to have other elements there as well that gives it a little bit of extra power. Kick and bass is nice and clean. I like that. Sound design, as always, is sounding very professional here. Hello Matt, how are you doing? You have a problem rendering the track. Ah yeah, I had my PC overheat as well 2 days ago. Funny vocal there. And you missed whose track this is. This is King Thin, the second submission of the day. This handsome dude right here. But there's not much to say, it's just a very, very solid production. It's very nice. Side, how you doing? At least that's the alto count of Side, right? Nice atmosphere here as well. My time zone, it's 9 AM for me, so I'm basically waking up to a Dark Side stream. Isn't there a better way to wake up then? I mean, that would work for me. Okay, this break is maybe a little bit too washed out with that atmosphere there. I'd like to hear something, maybe like a warm pad in here. That gives the sound a little bit more stability maybe. But we're already going back into the drop. little bit of swing. Here, I think the strange thing is that you're mixing between the swing bass, that is like the offbeat swingy bass line, and then a normal rolling bass line. Because they fundamentally have different rhythms. I would just choose one of them, to be honest. You can see that the bass is late, right, on that swinging bass. Here is the hat, and here is the bass. So that's the little bit of swing that you have. Your PC overheats as well, but you had a 200 IQ GPU fan mod. I had a modification that I could almost call it a modification with the amount of dust that was in my PC, but I did clean out my PC recently, like 2 days ago. Acid, Sleepwalker, how are you guys doing? Welcome. I'm sorry that I'm not saying so much about the track, but there's just not a lot to say. This is just a very solid production. Very crazy on the sound design here. Maybe there's a few elements that are a little bit on the loud side there. That first one, when the kick and bass came back, felt a little bit loud. Very nice. Acid Monkey, how are you doing? This was King Thin, and I don't know how to pronounce this. T sign gain E C153. That was what I said the other time I mentioned this. But overall, yeah, very solid production. And next up we have Psy Miracle with Twisted Dialogue. Let's see. Twisted Dialogue, Psy Miracle, 150 BPM in G. Also starting off with some crazy dark sound design here. King Thin is not here right now, but hopefully if he watches it back, he will see all of the praise. Because that was, yeah, indeed a very solid production. This part obviously not mastered here. Nice clean kick and bass. Actually using a wavetable, I think. So no processing, no phasing, just a wavetable. That's why it's clean. Right, yeah, no, nothing on the transient. I like that you're not putting the atmosphere in here, because this is a higher energy part. Now it's back. Right, that long drawn out atmosphere. Maybe you could put a trans gate on stuff like that, because it usually slows down the energy quite a lot, because it's like this kind of thing, so that's really slow, right? And obviously this is the high intense part of the track. Looks like the second bass note, not the kick body, is the volume peak here. I think that's currently because there's hats and an offbeat hat on top of it. Maybe you could lower that bass note a little bit, but overall with some compression, some good clipping, some good mixing, you should be able to get that in the right space. To be honest, Sleepwalker, I wouldn't just maybe use the trans gate, but I would probably prefer not having an atmosphere there at all. Like if I'm going for a high energy part of a track, to me it makes sense that you only place in there high energy elements. Right? And very rarely is a atmosphere in my, like the way that I hear it, high energy. I might actually have a good example of where it is, which I can put on later, one of my tracks. But I think that that's the exception, not the rule. Full use of the vocal there. I like the panning effect as well. Same as long snares. Indeed, yes, yes. Anything that's like really drawn out, right? Because we have this 60 note, taka 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 taka, that kind of feeling. That's what I want. It is indeed a very strong track, a very strong production. I think we pointed out some minor things in here, but overall the mix is very, very strong. The sound design is very, very cool. Just a few arrangement things that I would personally change. But even without those changes, if you were to send this to a label, I think they would consider putting this out. And the same thing is true for the last track that we heard. Because it's like that quality level. I have no idea what he's saying, but okay. The next submission is Neem. I don't know how you pronounce that, but this is ID Psy 3 cleaned. Let's have a look. Nice atmosphere already. I like it. Here it's definitely not clean. You're using a normal phase filter on your kick and bass after you clean it up. So that's going to undo your cleaning. You would need to use a linear phase if you want to do like the filtering. Here as well, I would give a little bit more space for the transients, also from the kick coming in here. I like the phase alignment here, that's well done. And overall the bass sound is very, very good. So these are like details, right? Also the second note being louder than the first is usually not common. It does have a very bouncy vibe. I like the sound design here. Open for another submission after that, of course. Usually after 3 hours in, I start to complain about the amount of submissions that I'm getting. We're not there yet. Still learning a lot from your channel. Thank you. That sounds really good. Sound design works together. Nice. Here again you can see some transients kind of smooshed, right? This little curve in there, that's usually an indication of some post-stringing still existing. Let's see if I can capture. Yeah, here you can see it goes down and then up again. That's the post-stringing from the bass line still. I would say personally that you could take these lead sounds that you have here and do a lot more with it in terms of the stereo field. This is a prime example of something that you want to have bouncing around the stereo field, maybe panning it for each time that you play it, or just overall increase the stereo width by quite a lot. Ping pong delays, obviously. The sound design is already there, now you just have to take a little bit of extra time and care into putting it into the right space in terms of the stereo field. In terms of the other like balances and stuff like that, it's already there, right? In terms of EQ, in terms of level, mix is very solid. I like that we're changing here. What I would have personally done is maybe change one section before that, or at least remove the main sequence, that bandpassy, FME kind of sequence. Remove that one section earlier, because otherwise it takes a very long time for the track to progress. This is just the idea. Okay. Yeah, you can see here again, this is one of the areas what you would clean up, right? But it sounds very good, yeah. Gives me a little bit of He Art vibes, this part. The main bass as well could use a little bit of stereo width. Plug-in called M Stereo Spread here. If you use that, I think I did a tutorial on using it pretty recently. Maybe a short video. Elos, how are you doing? Welcome. This part still feels a little bit empty, I would say, like the whole third drop. I'd like to see it reach a little bit more of a higher energy level at some point. And your outro makes my analyzer stutter for some reason. But very cool. Very nice submission. The next one is Acid Monkey. Started yesterday. This is called vibrations.mp3. Wider is good, but make sure that you get the version 2 because you do want to high pass the effect. When you do stereo on the bassline, you want to high pass it to like 200, 250 Hertz, maybe even higher, up to like 500, depending on the bassline. Nice bouncy kick and bass. Again, a very mono track here. You can see here the stereo field, right? Yeah, like that gritty synth there, what you could do is apply a little bit of random panning. If you're doing that in Serum, you just use a note on random and just use that on the pan. So it's the same as the, not the last, but the track prior to that, the one that wasn't mastered. I would say in terms of that sound design, everything is polished and it feels nice. You just need to put all of the elements in their proper space.
Time gives legitimacy to its existence. Time is the only true unit of measure. It gives proof to the existence of matter. Without time, we don't exist.
Nice vocal mix.
Without time, we don't exist.
Maybe at some point you could do a bass melody. Like this is the point where something new should come in, right? With, for example, the bass. We're changing up the drums a little bit, adding a few extra percussions, like mid-range percussions. Okay. That's actually the end. Okay. There's still a minute almost left on the file, but that was still the end. We have another track. This is a track from the last stream, but I changed the name and some other things as well that you pointed out. I don't remember names from tracks anyway, so even if it was the same name, I wouldn't have noticed it. Hello projector, I would like to know what I can improve in the track. I take into consideration the atmospheres on the high part of the track. If you can give me criticism to advance a little. I mean, we had your track, right? I think I pointed out some other things as well, didn't I? Anyway, Inner Calling by Acid Monkey. I'm just gonna move on to the next track. And we'll see what happens. Very nice intro. I like the warmth that you have here. The world will be better without World Economic Forum, but that's just me. Okay. Thanks for your wise contribution to the stream, I guess. Nice and clean. I like that. The kick feels maybe a little bit strong in the like 500 to 1000 region. This part here has maybe a little bit too much knocking, if you know what I mean. Very nice transition back into the drop. What snacks am I eating? I have some Pringles. I have a couple of full ones remaining and then all of the other ones are broken ones like these. Would be cool to have a little bit more stuff going on in the fills, because they felt a little bit bland, at least the last one. I don't remember if they're all like that, but if it's just stop and then start again, yeah, that's already a little bit better. But maybe a reverse kick every once in a while, something like that. I just picked up the free Snap Heap with 2 months for $2 Loop Cloud trial. Cool. Snap Heap is very useful. It allows you to save all of the presets in the Kilo Hearts environment. Set an alarm to remind you to cancel. I don't have any capabilities here. You'll have to do that yourself, my friend. Here we go. Build up again. I feel like there should be a little bit more stuff building up here. Risers. So we have this big build-up, and then you would expect there to be a little bit more energy behind it, right? I meant to say half. It would be a strange question, yeah, to ask me to set you an alarm. I like this part. This is good. I do agree, Klaus, it needs a little bit more excitement, and you usually do that by adding a few more extra elements. This would be the point where I would stop with that like saw plug thing, because you have a new sequence going on here as well, the one that's for some reason staying on the same frequency spike here. I would have this move up and down to create nice swooshes and stuff like that. Here again, the fill where not really much is happening. Now here it does kind of make sense as you're going to a lower energy like level. But maybe still it's a good idea to spend a little bit of extra time specifically looking at all of the fills and see if you can do something interesting there. But a very nice submission indeed. Now we have Elo Sun, first bounce, just made it in the last 2 days. It's called UA. The track name itself is called Puzzled T1.mp3. Let's go. Ooh. Bit of a different intro here. I like it. Maybe it's a cool idea to take that high synth thing and increase its attack over time so it becomes a little bit more atmospheric. bass is not clean. This needs to be cleaned up, as you can see. So some resampling. I do really like the groove of the kick and bass. I do feel the bass is a little bit loud, so maybe minus 2 dB on the bass line. But the idea is really cool, and I like the smooth, slow kind of feeling of it. You do have a lot of elements that aren't synced with the beat, and that's not really a problem in the intro. But usually when you have such a strong like rhythm, which this rolling kick and bass obviously is, you do want to sync your other elements to that rhythm. This loop kind of came in out of nowhere. That's where you would use fill, for example, a bar long, to give a little bit of a pause so that the listener knows, okay, something is coming, and then you go back into it. But I like the warmth and the atmosphere of this. And the sound design is really unique, really cool. I would love to hear how he is going to change between the themes. This is already a very different theme. Very good. I like this. This is really good. It is very, very unique. I really like it indeed, yes. You just need to worry about the details and maybe consider redoing the mix, right? The kick and bass mix mainly, because the bass is too loud. And obviously, as I said, your fills. They are very, very important. That's why we usually have them. This track has very short moments where just one kick kind of stops, but that's not really a fill. Suddenly the bass is low passed. I don't think that that's what you're meant to do here, right? I'm assuming that's a little bit of a mistake maybe. Forgot to reset an automation or something like that. If it's deliberate, I wouldn't do this. But again, the sound design is very cool, very unique. If you're gonna do this low pass bassline thing, then do it throughout the whole track, so that you maintain the same tonality throughout the whole track for your bassline. Also, overall, your track could use a little bit more stuff here. It is very on the dark side. Even though it's a dark feeling, that doesn't mean that it has to be mixed darkly as well. You can have a nice, strong, like frequency spike, for example, coming from the hi-hat there. Just have this kind of roll like that. This is MP3 indeed, but this is not the MP3 artifact that we see. Usually the MP3 artifact is at 16K, so here, and then it chops off like this. But there's not enough high ends to make it to the MP3 artifact. Because usually you see that kind of here, I would say, maybe. Then you see like a chop going down like this. But if you always stay in that lower volume, you're never going to the part where it cuts it off. Would maybe be cool to take this one atmosphere that you have here, that very big one, and do something melodic with it at some point. Just to change it up a little bit. But again, this part is really cool with all of the sound design that you're doing. It would be steeper indeed, yes. It would just be at 16K and then it's just like a vertical line down to a lower level. Of course, MP3 is always going to affect the quality, but it's not responsible for this very dark mix here. That one trans gate is out of sync with the beat. I really like the atmosphere that you have in here. Yeah, there's not much more stuff happening in the third drop, I agree. The first two drops are definitely unique, and you have that one break before the second drop, which is really unique and stands out a lot. And after that, it needs to progress a little bit more, I think. Punks and Sandals, how are you doing? Welcome. Neem, there's another track here. This is called DB5. Let's have a listen. You're welcome, Milos. I hope it's helpful. Nice transition, I like it. You need to resample your kick and bass and clean it up. Overall, the volume balance and the tone of it is very nice. It's just the cleaning up part that's missing right now. Maybe try giving a little bit of stereo width to that clap. Makes it a bit more exciting usually. Here as well, that loop is completely mono as well. Is the bass completely mono? I think so as well, yeah. And we're again missing a little bit of high end here. Usually you'll hear that your psytrance track is a little bit spicier in the higher frequencies than any other genre. It's usually the case with like rave music. Also techno music has that very strong offbeat hi-hat, right? So it definitely has that very strong airy frequencies in the high frequencies here, and that's what I'm missing a little bit here as well. Now you can see MP3 problems, I think. But this is obviously from SoundCloud's compression, so that might be even stronger in terms of the compression. Still, a little bit of extra air here in this part would be nice. All the cleaning will be done last. Yeah, I imagine that would be the case. That's usually a good idea. Here that effect as well is completely mono, right? We have the saw thing that is a bit more stereo, but that downlifter that you had, that sidechain downlifter, was completely mono. Those are the kinds of elements where you always have to consider what does the stereo field need to do. For something like a kick and a bass, you know, okay, very, very mono. The kick completely mono, the bass has a little bit of stereo width in the higher frequencies. That's usually like a golden rule. But for something like an effect, you have to think about it, okay, what do I want it to do? And usually an effect is a background element, so a little bit of stereo width will help it fit in more with the track. Like this one is a bit better example of something that does work better with the track, right? Because it has that stereo width. I really like this. This is a very nice idea. A little bit more interesting your fills. I would also say that maybe that section is a little bit on the long side. I thought it was 32 bars long. Usually if I do 32 bars, I would at least have like one beat in the middle in the 16 bars that I take the bass away from, so that the listener can at least reset. But usually I go with the 16 bar sections, so you would have like big fills every 16 bars, right? And that's again just to reset the listener, change some of the things up, add a little bit of progression. That's where you do the interesting stuff in the fills, the transitions. There's not a lot of transitioning happening in the drop itself when you usually look at the Psytrance track. What happens is that you're building up to the fill, and then the fill changes everything, right? You'll have some unique sounds, you'll have some glitch effects, you'll have some reverse kicks, you'll have a kick fill that's not quite with the rhythm, or that's obviously it will never be with the kick rhythm itself, because the kick rhythm is usually just 4 on the floor, so any fill that you do is rolling or something else. It's doing something unique, and then you go back into the drop, and then at that exact moment where you go back into the drop, that's where sequences tend to stop. Either they stop at the beginning of the fill, or they stop at the end of the fill, and then you introduce your new sequences, and then you go up until the next fill. That's how you build out the structure, right? I feel like here there's a little bit of fills lacking, a little bit of space lacking in the track. At least that one place where I noticed it, I would say that would be the case. Anyway, next track is Matt J. Older track, kind of chaotic, ADHD in Psy form. Bill Nye _ V2 between brackets 2016. I've never been so scared from a title in my life. Just kidding. It is indeed instantly chaotic. I'm still wanting to watch your fills and transition video. The first one is on energy levels. I'm gonna dive deeper in fills itself in a later one.
Are you certain?
Of course.
You found them in everything.
Yes, sir. They're tiny, they're filled with empty space, and they are the fundamental building blocks of all matter.
So, if we could somehow control the market on these things, just think of the possibilities.
But, sir, you're talking about
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
This does actually sound very, very clean as well. Maybe the only thing I would say is that the kick is sounding a little bit weird. And we have this very strong riser there. Yeah, there you have some stuff. You could see the sub bass and how overpowering it is. This stuff. You should consider remixing this track. There's a few things in there that I've found like they're very loud or very overpowering. Kick and bass cleaning would also be nice. But the production is very, very good. I like the unique idea. I like the crazy sound design that you're doing. I like how clean all of the elements are. But for example, this riser to me is too loud. It's overpowering, and that's not what a riser is meant to do, in my opinion. Suddenly we have a very ambient section here. Sounds a bit off having such a big reverb on this one random sound. Yeah, now suddenly the track has a lot more reverb. I'm not a fan of this sound, to be honest. This is Bill Nye the Science Guy. That's who it is. No, this is Matt J. The one before your submission. Here again, you can see it in the waveform. Things are overpowering the kick and bass here. That's what I mean with when the mix is off, right? It's just a volume balance between the different elements. Also love the hats. They could use a little bit to steer with. This is usually the kind of sound that I would give a little bit more decay, a little bit less sustain in the sound design. Because now it just sounds completely flat. Finally, we get a little bit of a lower part. I would personally high pass at some point there. Again, really cool sound design going on here. Definitely building up to something. It's a very long build-up.
Now you know.
That's really cool. That riser was a little bit loud again, but the vocal was really well done. Nine-bar phrase here. Every DJ is going to hate you. Very good production. I really like it. It was indeed a very crazy track. I traveled through at least 7 dimensions. Very nice. Next up might be a simple track for Sunday feedback, this morning session. So this was literally made in the morning. Already starting off a little bit calmer. Nice. Nice and clean. I like that. It is very mono here. Probably because there are some elements lacking still. You should probably consider making your bass a little bit stereo, as I've been saying before to other people. You can definitely hear that there's still stuff that needs to be added to this, right? This is still in the starting position, but overall it's a very solid starting point. Nice vocal. I like this. At this point, seeing as you're going into the sequence, I would stop using the one-shots here. Because these one-shots, again, feel a lot slower than the energy level that you're trying to achieve. This is where the acid line should come out, right? You can hear the drums are full energy. Also, they're a little bit loud, these things. This section is also very long without any form of fill. We have the fill now, but that's after a very long part. Very cool sound design. I would again consider not having the one shot here. And for example here, now that this new acid element is coming in, you should usually have a fill right in front of it to announce the fact that that's happening. But I think all of the things that I've said are things that can be easily worked into the track. So there's nothing that stands out as being like wrong here. You can definitely hear that you just started working on this and that it's just like an idea that you need to work out. But overall it sounds very, very good. I really like it. I did not consider the mix in any way, by the way, when listening to this, because I don't think that that's fair yet. That usually takes a lot of time to settle, even for people that do it within the same project. People that aren't like me, where they have their own session, right? I think you can almost think of producers as like two types, and the ones that do their production and then their mix, and then you have the people that basically have everything mushed into one single process, even up until the mastering at some point. Usually for those second group, it is still the case that the mix only really takes shape towards the end of the production process, right? You're not going to get a few hours of work done and then already have those few hours properly mixed. That's usually not how it works, because you don't know what you're going to add next to it yet, right? You don't know where the track actually is going to go. Anyway, next up we have Rainy. He's a student of mine, and he sent in a track as well. Let's have a listen. This one is just called snip.wave. And we'll see if I play it. There we are. Nice. He did mention that there's no transition into the drop yet. But we do have a nice kick and bass. Nice and clean. Again, bassline could use a little bit of stereo width, especially because we have this very warm, fairly open sounding bass. But overall the sound design is very, very cool. I like that chord stab. This acid line sounds sidechained. If you can get away with mixing it in such a way that you don't have to sidechain it, for a main element I would always recommend not sidechaining if you can get away with it. I rarely sidechain nowadays. Unless for like a creative effect, I don't really sidechain anymore. Very nice. I like it. Overall, very nice production. Seeing as I don't have any submissions currently right now, I am going to put on some of my music and then I'll take a quick break and then I'll be back. The song that I'll put on, I have to warn you, is a little bit bass heavy. But I still think that's a cool song. I need to work on it a lot more still. I like the first idea, but the second idea I'm not really that fond of yet. But I'll see how I'll eventually work on this. I need to, now that I know a lot more about the fills and how I should treat them, I should probably also go back and redo some of the fill elements and stuff like that, right? All of the things that I've learned since I last worked on this, I now have to go back and re-implement into it. Because I did learn a lot over this summer, especially going to Burning Mountain. Just hearing a lot of psytrance, like actually where it's supposed to be played, I guess. Can I put an older track already feedbacked a few months? You can put in an older track, yeah, of course. I'll be right back, guys. See you in a bit. I'm glad you guys are liking the music. Soon a projector track at Orzora, I feel it. It would be lovely. It would be amazing to obviously have your music be played at one of the biggest festivals there is. This track needs a lot of work until it is at that stage, but I do think that a track that I worked on yesterday, for example, is definitely on a point where I could just say, send it to a label and they would accept it. This part obviously is a bit boring, I still need to work on this. And as I said before, all of the fills and stuff need work. This part needs a little bit of, I guess, a main element, I would say. I'm not a fan of the thing that I have now, that asset thing. It's a little bit strange. Just checking. I could fade it out a little bit earlier, I guess. My computer bombed out and I have to reinstall Windows. Still setting up. Also welcome, by the way. Who else did I miss? Build Your Dreams and Zenline. Welcome. Acid is uploading a song. Very nice. Do you already have some tracks to listen to again? Yes. Nice. Let me just quickly turn this off. Nice. Okay. Next track is again Mind B. And I can make this bigger, by the way. This as well. And then I click here. Would you look at that? That's nice. Ricardo, how are you doing? Projector, I have some doubts about arrangement. Can you recommend one of your videos? Yes, I can. I have a guide on arrangement for psytrance. Let me find that for you. The thumbnail is a little bit ugly. I should consider again redoing some of the older thumbnails, because when I did it the first time around, I didn't exactly know what I was doing. Anyway, here's the video. I indeed have also a series that just started specifically about energy levels. I think in this video I cover energy levels, at least the ideas of it, fairly quickly. But the main thing here is talking about like section lengths and sectioning different things and stuff like that, and how you would go about a progression of a track. Anyway, let's go. Mind B, Sense of Life. Here we go. This is an old track of his, but already starting very, very strong. Personally, this vocal, I would have made it a bit more stereo, so you get that big, out of this world sound from it. Maybe a stereo layer of it.
Ultimately, the sense of life is something that each person must define for themselves.
I love the use of that like Eastern melody that's in the background here.
And values. It is an ongoing journey that can change throughout one's life.
Nice, very nice. Clean kick and bass as well. Slightly earlier fade. Could have been a bit better, but it's good enough. very loud vocals, but they're understandable. I like the mix of the vocals. You could maybe compress them a little bit, but you definitely don't want them to be perceived quieter. Because the point of vocals is to storytell. Hey, thanks for the feedback earlier. No worries, my dude. It was a really good track, your track. Your production, I almost said nothing. I don't know if you watched it back already, but there was not much to say. One of the things I see here in the fills is that you do work a little bit to make the transition work, but the elements transitioning into the kick are a little bit on the loud side. Generally, one of the requirements of a fill is that it's a little bit quieter than the kick and the bass, and I see your fills kind of at the same level. Maybe you're just slamming it into the limiter a bit too hard. In this case, it's not really the case, but you could still see those drums being very, very loud. But overall, this is a great production. Nice little slide there. Very good attention to detail. Another thing here that you again could consider is the stereo width of, for example, the snare. Do you really want that to be completely mono? I would personally have a snare a little bit stereo as well. I just love this Asian style melody. Is it Asian style? It does give that kind of vibe, right? Japanese, Chinese maybe. I really like this.
It is an ongoing journey that can change throughout one's life as they grow and evolve.
Very clean, this. Well, post an older one now, so you get to talk a little bit more, I guess. I mean, knowing you, your productions are usually very, very solid. It's cool to hear that from me. That's just why I'm here. Here again, the whole track feels a little bit too mono for me. Here you can hear, this is good stereo field stuff, right? Hello, Dada. From the arrangement, it's a little bit strange going to this lead, then away from it and then back to it again like that. It's not that it doesn't work, it's just a bit of a weird decision. In terms of like storytelling. I really like that sound, that dark stuff that's in here. And the melody in here is really cool. Here we can hear the drums suddenly come in. What I would do if you want the drums to come in there is to just mute one bass note or one bass beat like this, right? So that's where you can make a change. For this change that you have here, I would use a longer fill, maybe a bar long. But you are weird. That's true, yes. I agree. This is a really cool part. I like how the melody interacts with that atmosphere that's just randomly cut out. There it is again. I was happy when he came again. I'm just going to take that without the context. I'm just going to say that one phrase and then we all know what you said. Very nice one shot there as well. Yeah, this last part is a little bit strange in terms of the progression. Overall, also the lack of fills and stuff like that. Overall, very, very nice track. Very well done. We're getting some really high quality submissions today. We have Kingthin. This is an older one. Dream of the Faith D151.
Maybe our last chance.
It's already going very, very crazy. It's a little bit loud for an intro.
I was in a foreign world.
If you made it a little bit quieter, then the vocals also have a little bit more space.
This was my new reality. Stuck in it for good. I started to feel lightheaded and then sleepy.
Yeah, you can hear the vocals are hard to hear. So this is a mixed balance issue here. Of course, I'm always happy when someone is doing well.
Funny.
Nice heavy kick and bass. The cleaning is something that has not been done here. There were indeed already more things to talk about than in the first track. The first track was really good, the one that you submitted. Here there are again a few elements which are completely mono, which I don't know if you want that. So for example the vocal. For those that don't know, Kingthin is Zeph on one ear. So there's probably a reason for the stereo mix not to be 100% ideal. I would say that for somebody who is only hearing with one ear, the stereo field is actually very well done. Could be overall in your mastering a little bit wider if you wanted to. But like the relative stereo width between all of the elements does make sense for me. Apart from the few things that I mentioned before, like a few elements that I would consider need to have more stereo width.
where I was, what I got myself.
Here the vocal as well is completely mono. Or at least 2 mono. Maybe not completely with the
I think I had a dream.
reverb or something that's on there, but the dry vocal is mono.
A dream of being alone.
This is King Thin, Dream of the Faith D151.
I wanted someone, anyone, beside me.
That is track Cigarettes. We listened to it on the last week's stream. Already, I think. I do remember that he submitted it before.
So I didn't have to feel alone anymore.
Very nice progression, very nice structure to the track. I really like that little break thing there. I'm not quite sure but I would say maybe a little bit of stereo wave on the bass, but for like a very dark track like this, it's not as needed as for a track that is a little bit more open, you know, with the stronger mid-range in the bass line. I don't want to cause a copyright claim again. Yeah, that was a little bit of an issue. I do think that should be sorted out now, because I do believe that I filed a dispute already. Because obviously you guys, when you submit a track to me, I think it's implicit that you guys give me permission to play it on stream. So in that case I get permission from somebody that presumably owns the rights to that track, and therefore I can use it. Here's again very good in terms of the sound design. It's just a stereo wave. If you play with that a little bit more, you get so much more space to actually place all of these sounds that you have now. It's going to your own channel as well.
It was strange.
To me, it's not about the money when it comes to these claims. It's always just the thought of when you have a claim like this on your channel, at some point it can become a strike. And if you have 3 strikes, then your channel just gets deleted, right? I also don't make enough money off these feedback streams to actually justify any form of, you know, time spent on disputing things, or in the worst case legal action or something like that. It's more the principle that if I don't do anything about this, 1, I'm submitting completely to the people that are filing these claims, and 2, there's always a chance that 3 of these claims turn into a strike.
You're here. Are you not?
Hit the like button, everyone. I haven't even looked at the stream page. But yeah, I do agree. We can get to 10 likes today. It's not as many people as we usually have. Probably just a very nice summer day and people are outside. Anyway, very, very good track. I really like that. Oh, stop playing the next one immediately. What we have next is Acid. Guzarish. Is that how you pronounce it? A minor 140 BPM. Let's go. Of course, Acid, his artist name is called Space Riders. Stops on the break and I also didn't finish all. That's okay, we'll just listen to the part that is there. Here again you have a vocal that could easily be a lot wider. Right, you want that outer worldly effect with main elements like this. Also, it should have a little bit more space and maybe a little bit more volume as well. Space is something that you make in other elements. So you make space for the vocal, and then obviously the volume, you just add that to the vocal itself. Nice and clean kick and bass. We have one element here, those bandpass plugs are panning right for some reason. Also, your snare is very dark. I also get those claims a lot, Dada. Every live stream I'll get 1 to 3 tracks claimed from them, and it's never the same track. It's just some track with a rolling kick and bass gets misidentified. You always get in trouble with the snares. Well, I just released a new pack, and soon there will be a video of how I use my snares. Overall though, the mix is very good and well balanced. I think I said one thing about the vocals being a little bit low, but the rest sounds very, very nice. Those long atmospheric singing vocal things. Of course, Brazilian style will have to go into some progressive stuff. Completely mono, by the way. I don't think that that's what you want. Especially from something progressive. Usually the progressive bass lines are wider than your rolling bass. If you have trouble with kicks, you know somebody. His kicks are really good. If you have kick too, definitely consider getting his patches. I'm so hungry, then you should eat something. Welcome to this live tutorial. Step 1, if you ever get that feeling in your stomach, eat something. No, it didn't sound low because it's filtered. It's low because you didn't leave enough space in the other elements and you turned the volume down too much. It is indeed a little bit strange, yeah, that we are the ones who has to make sure that it's not a match and not the billion-dollar company. In today's video projector will show everyone how to eat in case they get hungry. Well, I just finished my snack, so I actually don't have anything anymore that I can show it with. Tutorial has been cancelled, everybody go home. No food. Very nice track, I really like it. I think I did say a few things, as I always do, but overall the production was very, very nice. Do we have more submissions? Wait, question about presets. Um, okay. I responded to that. We currently don't have any track to listen to. We have gone through all of the tracks. If anybody has anything to submit, now is the time to do it. In the meanwhile, for those that are new here and don't know, I am running a summer sale on my Gumroad. You can see all of the different products that I have. I think if I update it now, the ordering should be better. So the newer products, right? My new tones pack and my psychedelic drum pack. Both of these just went on sale. Just released Friday, I think. Very good products. I made a better box for them. I might go back and retroactively go through all of these boxes to make them the same style as these ones. I think they look a lot better, and maybe if I have all of them like that, it's just overall a cleaner look, right? I also did this one differently from what I used to do. And then for these, obviously, these are part of the remix packs, where you get a license to remix all of my tracks. These are for all ones. They're a very expensive one. And this is for individual tracks. If you want to remix one of my tracks, you can just buy this and it will have a license in there as well. But yeah, up until the 24th of July, there will be a sale. Use code SummerSale23, all low caps, no spaces. And then you'll get 30% off everything that you purchase. So it applies to all of the products, even the masterclass, the expensive thing here. If you want 30% off of that, which I guess is $100, then now is the time to do so. We had a coding stream, why not a cooking one today? Unfortunately, I don't have the setup to do that here. I don't have the space. And my kitchen isn't presentable. I never know how to stereo bass. Let's explore stereo bass. Because we don't have any tracks to listen to right now, so I can talk a little bit about it. I'm going to take a drum here. A kick from the drum pack. Again, code Summer Sale. Let's go 143 BPM so that matches here. Let's go a nice G sharp. Right, exactly aligned, so this is very nice. And then we'll go like this. Here I want my bass patch. Let's just quickly design something here. Too loud here. Nice. Say that that's your kick and bass. Just something simple, right? When it comes to the stereo width, I usually go with the stereo spread. I have it built into this patch here. But I essentially turn on the spectral generator. You can hear the stereo width that we're getting now. And then I go up like this to find the exact tone that I'm looking for with the minimum frequency and the amount of bands. And then I just tone the effect with the amount of spread that I'm actually doing. Maybe I lower. Probably if you EQ a little bit. something like this. I can send an old track. Where do I have to share? When you get into the Discord, you can drop it right here, and then you'll be able to share it. Now listen to it. But that's how I do stereo bass. Essentially, I just use the amp stereo spread. This is obviously built into my patch, so it saves with whatever preset that I make with the patch. The normal version looks like this. Stereo spread here. And I think there's a free version as well. So here you have your spread amount, your bands, minimum, maximum frequency, which were the parameters that I used. Right, so you check spread, you do bands, and then minimum, maximum frequency, you would set something like this, and then obviously listen to it again for the bands and the spread and the exact kind of tonality that you want to it. It's not just that this adds stereo width, it also slightly changes the tone. Because I think this is based on the frequency bands here, and obviously that's going to introduce some phasing. Now I think this is a parallel process, so that shouldn't be too big of an issue, and I've never really seen it mess up the phase relationship of the bass line. Do you ever made a reference to the note regarding the lower frequency? No, it's always on feeling. I know that I need to go roughly to 200 to maybe like 300 hertz. That's usually the area where it starts to make sense to not have any stereo width below it. Because I want my lowest few harmonics to be as stable as possible. So like the lowest 3 harmonics, I want those to be stable. And therefore I just set this to a feeling where I hear that, okay, now it feels like the bass line has a nice rounded low end. And then I set my bands amounts and then obviously the spread amount to determine the overall amount of the effect. M stereo spread, yes, it does perfectly sum to mono. Especially if you're using it in the settings that we are, which is very low spread, and you can see not enough widening here. If we were to go crazy and go like this, this, and this would no longer sum to mono, right? In fact, it's already clipping for some reason. If we set this to some reasonable values, you can hear you can fine-tune the tonality here as well, if you want, or with the maximum one. Get a more clicky version here, if you go more bands as well. Something like this. Yeah, it is indeed a very dispersing sound because it's the amount of frequency bands. If you push that into the higher numbers, you're obviously going to get very small things, like the very small bands overall. So there's going to be a lot of phase shift coming from that. And that's also the reason why it changes the tone, right? Because of the phasing that it does. Anyway, do we have a new track yet? Yes. This is Michael's son. Hamon and Cardon, document 1. That's a very strange name. It's German, so I don't really know what it means. I guess we'll just have to listen. This is made with reason. But there are so many mistakes. Hello? Ableton just decided that it did not want to do it anymore. It's on strike. It's okay. We can just set it up again. There's not a lot of time needed to set it up again. Just go like this. Now we can see. I do like that swoosh. Feels a little bit bland here. Personally, I'm not a fan of a full kick without any filtering if the bass line is not playing as well. But that's just like my opinion. Technically it can work. I want to see what you're doing here. That's why the waveform is so much louder there. You can see the difference in volume between the kick and the bass. Obviously the kick is the most important part, that's what we dance to. So the bass should not be a lot louder than the kick like this. Also again, stereo field, something to consider. That's true, I do believe what Klaus says is very true. Reason is a perfectly capable DAW from what I know about it. So if you have already spent the time, at least for a little bit, starting to learn it, then obviously going for a switch always will make you spend more time on the learning process and not actually writing music or learning to write music. Because you have to learn the new DAW as well. But you definitely have like beginner vibes to it, right? Not a lot of progression, not a lot of stuff happening. The mix obviously being off. Kick and bass cleanliness is probably going to suffer a little bit. You can see it in the transient here, but obviously we cannot judge the kick and bass cleanliness because the mix is completely off here on the bass. I do like what you're going for, the overall vibes of it. And you mentioned yourself there's a lot of mistakes in here. If you fix those things, then it can definitely be a nice starting point for a track. There just needs to be a lot more stuff that is happening. We've been basically listening to the same percussion loop for the whole track. It is a cool sound, that one that you just had there. Strange that there's no delay on there. There's very little delay. It was a bit loud, that lead sound there. Too compressed. No. I don't know where here the compression is the issue. No, it's just overall levels. Where can you send your track? ! Feedback will get you into my Discord server. And then you can post it right here in feedback on stream. That's actually the right one, not stream discussion. Right here, feedback on stream is the channel to post. compress your dreams. True. To be honest, if you're at this stage, I wouldn't worry about things like compression here. The very first thing that you need to look at is just proper track writing and track structuring and how many elements, how much do I need to progress here. And then the second thing is volume, right? 80% of your mix is going to be volume. If you spend a little bit of extra time worrying about, okay, what does each element need to do? What is their importance in the mix, right? You have these lead sounds which are a lot louder than the kick. That doesn't really make any sense from, if you think about it technically, right? What is the most important part of a psytrance track? It's the kick. So the kick should be the loudest element, right? And then the second most important thing is the bass. So then the third most important thing is going to be the leads. The fourth most important thing is probably going to be your other drums. And then the fifth is probably going to be some kind of effect or something like that. Maybe a few percussions. Those are usually a little bit less important than your main drums. Your open hat, your closed hat, and your snare. Those are the three like main drums for psytrance, right? So you can basically create these kind of levels, and based on the levels you can set the volume, because that translates one-to-one, volume to importance. There's obviously exceptions to these rules. There's certain cases in which this might not be the case, but 99% of the time the levels as I just described them are just going to be the way that you want to mix your tracks. I do not yet have your track, Ricardo. I don't know if somebody else wants to post anything. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to talk about, to be honest. If this is all the tracks that I'm going to get, it's going to be a very short stream. Which, I must say, would actually be nice, because I'm a little bit behind with my editing duties. Chess. I'll play one game of chess. If I then don't have a new track, I'll leave. I've considered doing editing on stream, but it's so boring. I cannot make that fun. Also, it's a little bit unfair to the people who subscribe to the Patreon, because then the video that they're about to see, right? Okay. One game of chess. Ricardo is uploading his. We'll just play a game and then we'll wait for that. Don't expect too much of me, right? 300. I go here. And I defend. I mean, I just get the queen out. I can go here. I mean, he's probably going to defend this. He has to, right? I go here with the queen next so that I'm threatening this. And if he moves his pawn in any way to try to defend my queen from going directly there, I just go here. And then it's mate as well. I don't think he can defend either of those. Well, my camera is covering the chess field. Can I move that? I need to remember to put it back. I'm also looking the wrong way now. Like this, I guess, yeah. I mean, he has disconnected, so the game is over anyway. Can I continue this game to show you my idea? Right, if I go into analysis. I can make moves here, right? Yeah. Is this the line? No. Immediately going here. Wait, but that's not the move I made. I made this. Which is apparently terrible. Okay, say that he makes like a random move. Don't I just go here then? I got the victory, that counts. It doesn't feel right. We'll do another one. I know I said only one match, but this doesn't feel right. It does have to be a full match. After that, we'll get back into the feedback. I'll play... this, I guess. Okay, he wants to attack this. I can go here. And then I'll kick out the bishop, I guess. Not really. I'll go here. There is a track if you don't mind. After this game, we'll go back into the feedback, yes. Klaus is already saying no, so this is probably bad. Why am I playing chess? Because sometimes I enjoy playing a little bit of chess. Okay. So I need to do some form of attack. Where do I go? I guess I can put this... I guess I can put this out in castle. You guys are waiting for more music. More music is very soon to come. There were indeed no submissions when I started playing. I mean, I can take this. Okay, where is he going to go? Here. Cannot go there. There's nothing staring here. He would need to move his queen there. I mean, I guess I can move this. What do I want to do? The problem is I don't know what I want to do. And I do need to make a move because I am down a minute. So maybe he trades with me, his most active like knight thing for bishop. Yes. So now I have the open thing. Oh. Didn't think that through. Queen takes. Take the knight. Queen take knight. That was indeed the move that I missed, yes. Rook. F6. There's some kind of threat that I'm making here then. You see, I don't get these moves. Maybe it's just the idea that you're then more free here. But I don't know why you would do this. Just to... Ah, because then I can pin him. Ooh. I mean, yes, he has... Okay. Now I need to... What's the best move here? Is it to open up my bishop? Because he might take now. Because that, yes. And then I just go here. And if it doesn't do anything, it's mate on the next move, right? I just take here. Fuck. Okay, shit. I can just take. I just go back. Your track is there? Okay, perfect. After this game, when this game is over, we'll take a look at it. What does that do? I don't know. Guess I'll go here. I need to bring my pieces, but it's really hard because my knight cannot go to any of these. Rook f7, was that a better move? It's on the selection music you released. Well, then it's in the wrong section. Because it needs to be here, in the feedback session, like I said. Attack the bishop. We go... No. Here. I don't know, I feel like I don't even want this rook here. I want this rook here, right? Just everything over here, and then I can go with the knight at least to there. I mean, he can go here to make a queen. He doesn't control the promotion square, so that doesn't really matter to me. Can't I just take the bishop? Yeah. Okay. I guess this is a bit of a problem, because if I move the knight, he's going to go rook here. And I get pinned. But I can make the knight go here, and then I can block the pin. So I guess that's not really an issue. Yeah, this way would have been kind of the same, I guess. Okay. Threatening that pawn, so we just move. I cannot move up. I guess I can, yeah. Because he's not going to come here anyway. It doesn't work for him. I'm winning now. I'm just gonna threaten this. I'm gonna go here, and then I can take this pawn from him. I can give him another check. Take the pawn. Okay. That's a bad move now. Okay, I cannot pin him in any way. So I'll just... Ah, wait. So I lose my rook. Ah. But he gets forked. Like this. The only thing he has to do is go there. I just go here. I mean, you give this check and now what do you have? Yeah, you just have to go back and now I take. You have to run. And now I have to... Can I fork him in any way? Fuck. I didn't realize the time. Anyway, I was busy trying to find a place to fork him. I could have just gone here. Oh my god. Yeah, I know. I should have just gone here and then that would have won the game. Anyway, now that we're finished with chess, let's get back into the things that we were actually doing, which is music feedback. I also see that I gained viewers playing chess. That's nice. We have Matt J, then we have Cos Monon, and then Portuguese Hands. Ah, that's the new guy. Let's see. Matt J. Dubstep Sketch 5 Work in Progress 1. I did have some mates probably, yeah, I'm not very good at finding stuff. A sad win and a sad loss indeed. I like the vibes overall. There was that one random area where the sub bass suddenly became a lot louder. I don't know what the idea behind that was. But you can only learn from these. I don't really care too much about chess, to be honest. I just find it funny. Even if I blunder a lot, it doesn't bother me. I'm not trying to become better. I think it's entertaining to be at my level. This sounds like pure copium, but it isn't. I really don't care. It's not something that I'm like passionate about, if you know what I mean. I just sometimes play it because it's distracting, I guess. And the last time I played it was also when you guys asked me to play on stream. I'm not somebody that does a few games every day or something like that. It is good to learn, yes, but it's not something that I particularly care about. Sound design is really cool, I really like it. Nice and ambient overall. This is a little bit heavier here. I really like this, it's nice and spacious sounding. To be honest, I think the sub bass could be a bit more dynamic. Right, a little bit less sustain. I can totally see this played in some kind of chill out area. I don't know if I agree with the panning there. Now it makes a bit more sense that we have the other elements panned to the right. But they're not really playing together. So it sounds a bit odd. This is indeed your type of music, Klaus. It doesn't really have the warm Klaus vibes, but I could definitely see otherwise. You at least like composing something like this. Mix-wise it's a little bit different, but maybe the composition, yeah. This is really nice, I really like this. There you sometimes have that sub bass coming in really loud all of a sudden. Here obviously it's again the stable one, or the more like plucky one. I guess I would focus on keeping your sub bass in check on this one. That would be the main criticism here. That sub bass reverse thing there, I think it's a bit too loud. That's the kind of control that you need, right? Also maybe the snare dynamics, stuff like that. That's what you usually need to check for when it comes to compression. But overall this track can be a lot more dynamic, so maybe it's alright. What we have more Cosmonon, and then after that we have Portuguese Hands, BRZ Y, and then Klaus. So this is In the Making. A very meta title if this track is not finished. I wonder what this is altogether. It almost sounds like the Dutch, the organs that we have in the Netherlands, the ones that are powered by a little cart. I don't know if anybody outside of the Netherlands knows what I'm talking about. The kick and bass just kind of comes in. It didn't really feel like it was with the rhythm. To be honest, this whole intro just kind of... Suddenly the kick and bass appeared and now we're in a sidetrack track. Check cleanliness. I guess it's okay in terms of the cleanliness, yeah. Mix-wise, I think some of these leads are a bit loud. Here again is an example of the drums changing randomly.
This is where the creation begins.
Yeah, stuff like those kick fills, you need to clean up the kicks if you're doing kick fills like that. You cannot have the sub bass from the last kick overlapping a new kick. This is nice, little fill before it and then the drums come in and everything is happening. I kind of was hoping that this art would just kind of continue. Not have the call and response with the other thing. As cool as the sound design for that other thing is, I think from a music like story perspective, it makes more sense for that arc to just kind of run and open up over time. Just for one section and then you go into different elements.
Well, some people say, well, we go to the concert to improve our minds. Well, if you do that, you're not listening. Because you see, music is peculiar.
This is a nice section.
It is a marvelous pattern of sounds that doesn't mean it.
Kind of random here that you put in extra bars. I think 2 extra bars of space. I think I should link again the arrangement video maybe.
Life is nothing more than a trip from the maternity ward to the crematorium.
That's a very dark subject matter, my dude.
It is the only real time. There is no past, and there isn't a future.
When it comes to arrangement, this video is very, very good. Obviously I know because I made it. Very nice. I like the Goa style. I like it a lot. For anybody that's new here and doesn't know, when it comes to these kind of feedback sessions, I don't say a lot of positive stuff while the song is playing. And the reason for that is I want you guys to hear as much of the track as possible. So if I were to sit here and say, I like that, I like this synth, I like that kick, it makes it harder for you guys to hear because obviously my voice ducks the music so that you can hear me speak. But that's the reason why sometimes during the feedback itself, it may seem like I'm only pointing out the negative things. I'm just trying to point out the minimal amount needed, right? Okay, next track, Portuguese Hands. This is Miraculous 212. Ooh. And sep03.mp3. I have no idea what that means. Okay, so it's definitely not 212 BPM then.
Is there not a technology?
Kind of confused of what is happening here. Okay, now we're into the drop. I would have my kick and bass quieter if it's not in the drop. You want to give extra punch when you're going into drop itself. Overall, very good sound design, very cool. Kick and bass is nice and clean, I think. Looks all good, I like it. So here we have a vocal which is hard pan to the right. I don't know why you would do that. Also the noise in here is a bit strange. That constant noise that you have. It's again a very mono track with, apart from a few elements. And you can also hear that there's sometimes a lot of elements just standing out. Here we seem to have some elements that aren't in sync. Here's another element that's just too loud, right? That atmosphere is just taking over now.
From primitive humans, humanoid forms still want to place it. According to an ancient Jewish interpretation of the Bible,
Here another thing that just kind of randomly starts and not in sync with the beat. As chaotic as Psytrance sounds, it's usually very quantized. Right, because it relies on the hypnotic rhythm, and the only way that you establish that rhythm is have all elements follow it. So things tend to be like synchronized to the 16 notes, or sometimes a 32 note if you want.
manipulation of human DNA.
Vietnam street food, how are you doing?
A humanoid form stood erect on it.
Kind of crazy what you're doing here with the vocals. Also your stereo field. I don't know if I said it already. I did mention the vocals being panned hard right, but here again, vocals that are completely mono, this thing being too loud there.
Into what we would call modern people. Into what we would call modern people.
This part is nice, I do like this part. Kind of a random spot for the hats to just appear.
Into what we would call.
Again, as I said before, usually you do that right after fill, so the hats would appear, for example, there.
There's the god of technology. Place.
Good melody, badly mixed. I agree, yes. This needs somebody looking at the mix professionally. Or just some... I don't know if this wasn't mixed yet. But at least this needs a better mix. KZZZV, how are you doing? Welcome.
Is the god of technology. Place.
Very, very soon, hopefully, I will start mixing services. Putting out mixing services, and then you are able to hire me for mixing if you want. And then you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, and I will just mix it for you. Here again you see some elements that are out of sync. Again, that's going to go against the goal of here again, against the goal of creating the hypnotic feeling. Here again, hats coming in at a random spot. Making music all weekend. Nice. Send some over.
Is the god of technology.
Also, the vocals are very dry. No reverb, no delay, no nothing. I just sent the link, by the way, for the arrangement video. I think it applies here as well. UVI World Suite. Very nice, yeah. Again, personally not a fan of kicks playing without the bass, without there any filtering on them. But it technically can be okay. I guess this is the end. It still has 1.5 minutes in the file. But yeah, it stops here. Okay. As a Psytrance influencer that you are, oh my god. Do you use studio monitors and room treatment? Why I ask is that I'm trying to make my room better than it is now. Can you do a video of what you have and why? I'll do you one better. Let me get my phone, quickly take a picture of my setup and then show it to the webcam. I cannot show the webcam around because it's obviously stuck to the PC. But I can show you kind of like my studio setup from my perspective. Why does the camera not open? There we are. Get flashbanged. I wonder if you can see how dirty my system is. It's a little bit. But you can see it's very, very simple, right? I have small speakers. I sit in like the corner. I have this big cloth here for the lighting so that I look a little bit better. Nothing about my setup screams professional. And that's why I'm saying I'm about to offer mixing services. I have to move very soon. And then hopefully I can get myself some Adam monitors. And actually, oh, you couldn't see too well. Wait, how do I guess I can put it on Discord. Is there anything confidential in here? No. Nothing that says my name or anything like that. It looks really scuffed. It looks more scuffed on the photo than it is in real life. It is very scuffed in real life too. Select channel. Here. Let's send that. Okay. Now if I go here. There we are. Now I can show it on stream. Right, so it's simple speakers here. And then this is my main monitor. That's where the chat is. And then on the right I have another monitor. And that's it. My keyboard is really dirty. It's really bad. I know. Nothing about this is professional. And I think that's maybe a good thing for you guys to learn. In that the music that I make, right? If you guys really enjoy the music that I make, it's mixed on those speakers. It's made on those speakers. It's nothing to do about the gear, really. It's just about how you use it. The only thing that you would argue is, if I get better speakers, then I would be more efficient. Because I could hear things clearly earlier, essentially. One of my best sounding tunes was mixed on crap speakers by accident. There's a reason why, even in the biggest studios in the world, they still have those Yamaha speakers that sound like shit. Right? You, at some point, need to listen to what the track is going to sound like on a normal system. My productions is 100% headphone produced. Wow. That's also really nice. Headphones, they introduce a lot of different problems that you have to go about in their own way. In the sense that with usual stereo, what you have is that the left speaker hits your left ear and right ear, but a little bit later, and the right speaker hits your right ear and then the left ear a little bit later. With headphones, obviously that's not the case. You just have left ear going into left, right ear going into right. But so that means that there's a few things that can happen in the mix that you just hear differently. Like excessive stereo width doesn't sound bad on headphones. It does sound bad on speakers. You immediately notice something just being completely out of phase on speakers. And on headphones it can actually sound quite good because you get that ultra wide feeling. Anyway, we have now BRZY 29_track. Again, very creative names today. Let's see what you've got. Very strong start. Yamaha NS10, it might be those speakers, yeah, that I'm referring to. The right amount of reverb, that's also one that is hard to see, I guess. I don't know, I also usually have... I guess I don't really think about judging the reverb like amount and length. I can definitely hear if it's too much, but it's like detail-wise, it's not something that I can hear. And maybe that shows in my mixes. If I listen to my mixes back on the system that I'm trying to get, maybe at some point I'm gonna say, oh wait, obviously all of this is wrong, right? Nice clean kick and bass, I like that. We're lacking a little bit in terms of the sound design here, in the amount of stuff going on. And again, usually if you're adding drums to a section, you will have a little fill before that. It is a bit mono, yes. But obviously one of the reasons why it's so mono now is because there's just not much stuff in here. does sound nice and fat. I do like it, but I still agree it's still very mono for this part of the track. Bass can be stereo. But the overall sound design is very good. And also the balance is really nice. Kick and bass relative to each other is very good. These snares are another prime example of elements that can easily be a lot wider in terms of the stereo width. We can discuss this a little bit, why you should care about the stereo width. A lot of people would say, but aren't raves, aren't they completely mono? Shouldn't I be focused in the mono component of my track? And that's true, but before you get to the rave, you need to be, obviously you need to be booked, or you need to get your music listened to by a label. And both of those things, those decisions are going to be made by somebody who is using speakers with 2 channels. So if your track doesn't sound good there, you never make it to the stage of going to the raves, going to the festivals, stuff like that. Unless you get yourself into that place with like connections and stuff like that. But if you want your music to just do the talking for you, then stereo width is one of the key elements. And obviously today in the streaming world, a lot of music is discovered also on streaming services, and again, that usually uses stereo. Again, nice clean kick and bass. Very good. I think for this track, I do indeed really like the sound design. I think all of your leads, and especially here leads and like atmospheres and stuff, can be a little bit louder with respect to the kick, bass and drums. Nice. Okay, after that we have Klaus. Let's see. Inside a Dream. This is going to be some ambient. Yes. Nice dark ambient. It is very resonant, this track, right? Individual spike there. Here again, very resonant stuff. Maybe it's just the plug being a little bit loud. But overall, we can already tell that this is a Klaus track with the storytelling happening here. What VST do I use to analyze the track? This is called Signalizer. Here again, very resonant. You can see the spikes here as well. All of this is Signalizer, by the way. They're just different presets of the analyzers that are available. Usually what helps in this case is a very strong mid-range pad and then a sub-bass under that, because it balances against those elements. What's happening now is that you have your higher mid-range parts here, and there's nothing that balances against that. Now we're getting a little bit more of that warmth, right? Here again, you can hear that one spike just really standing out for a long, long time. I made a video about like resonant hunting, but here you can, I guess, hear kind of the almost distortion that you're going to get from it. Maybe there's going to be some saturation somewhere along the chain, and then obviously that's what you're hearing. But the resonances, they almost feel distorting, right? So that's some point where you would say, okay, now I need to probably go hunt for them. And in this case, I would use some kind of spectral tool like Soothe if you have it, or the Spectral Dynamics is a really good one. Because you have such a melodic element, it would be really hard to do everything manually, right? Finding all of the resonances and kind of peaking them out. And I would consider adding a sub bass somewhere in here, and as I said, like a warm pad, so that you have that balance between the very bright or the very piercing elements that you have now. They don't have the stable foundation to kind of sit on. This is a render before mixing. Okay. Well, obviously I can only judge whatever I have here. Yeah, I just say what I hear, and then whether it's already fixed or not, I cannot really tell, obviously. I have a dynamic EQ. Yeah, that could also be... That could also work, yes, exactly. Care for one more? Yes. Here's one more. Cosmono. This is present mastered. And mastered is spelled incorrectly, but I don't care.
You are too concerned with what was and what will be. There's a saying. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
That's from Kung Fu Panda, isn't it? Master something, the turtle guy. Kick and bass should be cleaned up. Resampling, obviously. No filters after that. Overall, I like the balance of this track. And that vocal loop is nice and energetic.
If you will help people get what they want, then you'll receive everything that you need in life.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that there's... Okay, wait. I wanted to say... Obviously I have to listen to this part here. The difference between the theme and the rest of the track in terms of brightness, darkness is a little bit too much. Like, it sounds like a very dark track. And then you have this vocal on there, which is like, today is a gift, yay! You know, very uplifting, very happy. And then the rest of the track is very dark, very... It's maybe just a bit too much contrast here. If you want to go dark side, embrace the dark side and sample some horror movies. I do like this melody stuff here. This is very nice. I feel like the kick pitch decay is quite long. I don't mind it, it's a nice knock for kind of like a dark side feeling.
Always the most successful people.
Right, this obviously has a more darker intent, I would say. I think it's okay actually, personally. Obviously everybody's going to have that different opinion, but I don't mind it. Not over, we're halfway done.
We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up, and change is coming, whether you like it or not. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. Right here, right now.
I like your use of vocals, it just, all of the vocals that you have used don't really work with each other.
Right here,
And I guess that is something to consider. As funny as they are,
right now is where we draw the line.
oh, you mean this stream? No. I am almost finished. I do have to edit at some point. I recorded 12 shorts today. And all of that I have to edit because otherwise tomorrow you guys don't have any shorts. I'm going to focus overall the shorts more on synthesis and cool synthesis ideas, because they generally tend to do a little bit better in terms of short form content. Anytime I explain something else, like the ones that I... Yes, this is Greta Thunberg. Right? Thunberg? Something like that. Today's latency is crazy actually. But as I was saying, the shorts talking about anything other than synthesis, and usually even like kick and bass. If I don't talk about that, I just get half the views.
Okay, into the eternal bit of fire you go.
Was a little bit of an issue there with the kick overlapping. Greta Thunberg.
The happiest people are not always the most successful people, but they're the ones who serve the best. If you will help people get what they want, receive everything that you need in life.
Okay. I think I'm going to end it here. That was a very, very nice track. Thank you guys all for coming to today's stream. As I said, I do have to edit things, so I cannot always continuously stay live and be here. Is there anything else I want to say? Yes, of course. If you haven't already checked out the summer sale, use code SummerSale23 to get 30% off any and all of my products. There's no limit to this whatsoever, so you could even spend, I don't know, 400 euros in my shop if you wanted to, and then apply the code and it will get 30% off of all of the 400 euros, making you save obviously a lot of money. For those that haven't seen yet, I have 2 new products out, a tones pack and a drum pack. People have been waiting a long time for the drum pack, and the tones pack was something that I have been working on a little bit more secretly. And yeah, so they came out today, not today, Friday actually, Friday. And if you haven't seen it already, make sure to check it out. But that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream as always. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. And I cannot make any promises for when it will be. I'll just, during the afternoon, whenever I feel like it, go live at some point and then produce something, stream something. We're now working on that one very cool track. And I definitely want to continue on that. I also have that high-tech track that I need to work on. So loads of reasons for me to stream. Anyways, see you guys. Hope to have a good one. And see you next one. Hoppa.